So, bang on 22. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. My name is Mark Hartright, Professional Development Lead for Smart here in the UK. And this session is a little and often training session based on every couple of weeks, 20 minutes, bite-sized chunks, and we'll kind of jump straight into it. So, as I've kind of just said in the kind of preamble, last session was about remote management. How can you manage your smart boards? How can we use them and actually control them centrally without having to run around all of them? So that is already up on YouTube, so feel free to go and have a look at that one. But today's session really focusing on Lumio and the AI assist within it. So Lumio is a cloud-based piece of software. Just go to lum.io. You can sign up for free for about 10, 20 lessons within that as well. And then beyond that, that's when a subscription is kind of comes into play. And if you want to know more about that, just ask and we can kind of set you up with that as well. But this AI assist is very much looking at creating games, creating assessments, activities, and of course, full lessons as well in a kind of responsible way, not using your data, not using the students' data, generating it based kind of what is out there, using various different language models, and then choose something that's more or less right for your students. You then kind of go ahead and tweak and you make right for the students that you know better than anyone itself. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to head over to Lumio. Excuse me. So here is then Lumio. This is my front page of Lumio. You can see I've got lots of folders. I've got lots of pre-made lessons within it itself. Like I said, the website is just lum.io. Sign in, single sign in with your Google and Microsoft accounts, and you'll be good to go for that. And then there's a couple of places where AI has been put, first of all, within Lumio. One of them is the top here, was the AI lesson creation. And then another one is if I'm starting new, I can AI generate with AI response, your formative assessment, or many of these activities here like game show, monster quiz, speed up, and team quiz as well. So there's some kind of a few different ways of actually creating that content straight within Lumio. Again, aimed at it's called AI Assist. It's not there to generate and everything and just ping it out ready. It's to assist you in the making and to assist you with to assist you in the kind of creation of your content, but then you personalize it, you make what's right for your learners itself here. So this is one of kind of a few that I've kind of added to it itself, but I'm actually going to start ahead and go and do it as well with AI Assist. So first of all, gone to Lumio, lum.io, signed in, clicking on AI Assist here. And then you can see here that this then just gives my prompt. And of course, you can put whatever you want to in that prompt. And it will then create that content for you based obviously on that prompt there. So I'm just going to grab a text and I'm going to go, I've just done the home, and so I'm going to go to a different one here itself. Let's go the walrus and the carpenter user. In fact, I'm going to go good night, Mr. Tom, because I know that bit better. So I'm going to just literally copy and paste a text. So an initial study of the text, that one. And now this could be more specific, like it might be just looking at noun phrases, it might be looking at fractions, it might be looking at any other subject as well. I'm just going to kind of do quite a bit of an overview of this one. And that's kind of more of an older text. So again, coming from a primary background, an older text, it does use the term grade as opposed to year group or whatever you use. In the UK, equivalent to grades are just add one. So if this was a year six, year five, sorry, grade five, add one, year six. So let's just try that there. And again, I can have this generated in different languages if I wish to as well. Even to the fact where I can go down here and I can actually have it in Scottish Gaelic as well, if that's something you needed. And then I can click generate for that. Now, what this does now is it then lays out the lesson. You can see it's being created, and it's the same format for each one of your lessons that is created. We'll go through this in a bit more detail. So you can then see how that is created within itself here. And again, what is nice, if I just want to go through next and change it at the end, I can. Or partway through, I can then actually edit these contents here. I can delete any part that I think, oh, I don't want that, I do want that. If I want to add anything itself here, I can. Again, editing that part, it's mostly done. Great, I've saved those changes and now click next. Choose the background that I want as well. I'm just going to choose this one. In fact, I'm going to choose a yellow one. Create lesson. Excuse me. And then this is when the generation happens. It does take a minute. It is making your whole lesson for you. It's putting it in that correct format. It's using the template that you've just asked for. We are looking at bringing more templates into Lumio. These are the initial few within it itself, and then more will be coming down the line. And of course, that is something you can kind of go ahead and change later on as well, using something else. But that lesson is being created for you in that format, which is a kind of trusted format with the activities already embedded into that lesson, so you don't have to go and do that. This might be something as simple as set this going, go and grab yourself a cup of tea, come back, and by the time you've come back, then it will be made again in that edit mode where you can have it ready for your students itself here. So hopefully that is going to generate any moment. It shouldn't take too much longer. And there we go. Well timed by myself, I think. And that is then good night, Mr. Tom, initial study. So I've got my learning objectives. So again, if you call this something different, it can be done there. Quick overview of what this lesson is going to do. And of course, this is quite a wide topic to start with. The narrow it down, the more you put into that prompt, the better and more the one will be. This is then just that shout out, just to get the students' responses at the beginning, sorry. How are they getting on? What makes a good friend? And I can see some answers within there itself. They can categorize those, collecting the student responses. Again, all of this text here is all editable because it's made within Lumio. It will also have an immersive reader for it as well to help the students read it if they have got it there. And again, just going through the overview of it all, applying it to some context, and then these here are then the activities that are based in them. Every time you create new, these will be the same. So it starts with this sorting activity, and then you'll have a fill in the blanks piece of text. Again, this can be edited itself here. Let's just go ahead and edit that. So if it was that, for example, I didn't want evacuate, I wanted also to kind of have that one in there as well. I can. If I wanted to type in another sentence, I can just type that in, make it right for my learners, click next. I can change the background to that. I can also customize that so that I could then put a background of, let's just put London, for example. I can then choose the image on the background. Of course, if I wanted one of my own ones, that's quite a nice one there. I can add that, save that, and then my background is different on this page rather than the kind of using the generic Lumio one. This one I've now customized for my learners, added a few more text, whatever it might be, and then that background is different as well. From there, and then the matching up activity, again, just talking you through kind of the overall format. You can see that's in there. And then it just goes through that kind of rest of the lesson, exit tickets, reviewing it, and then those extensions, challenges to go at the end as well. So a reasonable format for the lesson, and I've got that all within there itself. And then of course I can edit this, and I can add in anything else I want to itself here, graphic organizers, or some of these prior knowledge. It might be to the end of it, adding in kind of, not prior knowledge at the end, an exit ticket of kind of, what have you learned about the topic? I can add that one in. And then that's then part of my lesson just being built into it itself here. So nice and simple to be made. Finish editing that page here, that lesson, and I've got that ready to go at the top here. So AI generation is for all users of Lumio. If you are generating more than 5 a day, you will need to kind of move up to a higher tier of Lumio, the Spark tier, and then it is pretty much unlimited. It does cap it out at 50, but I don't think you're creating more than that a day anyway. So there is that kind of, just because of the usage within it, but it is within there itself. And then I can go ahead and start that lesson and I'm good to go. You will also notice if I actually go to edit this file here, this one, you can actually have it generated in other languages. So as a English speaker myself, I was working up in Scotland last week and I wanted some content in Scottish Gaelic. So this is in Gaelic here, and then I've got exactly the way of doing that, going through that lesson itself here. But just because I asked it to be made in Gaelic, it is done there. Great way if you have got an EAL student coming to your class and you want to generate a welcome to the town, and you can just put it like that. Welcome to our school, and then whatever you're wanting to do in that prompt, it will then create that content for you with all of that there. So building on top of that file that we had from Goodnight Mr. Tom, if I go ahead and edit this file now, if I go to add, this is where the other AI content within it is as well. Response and game-based activities. So response is more of my formative assessment. So what I can do here is I can have question types. Um, what was London? London for evacuees in during, sorry. And I'm going to copy that because I'm going to have different ones. So I'm going to have a true and false question, and I'm only going to have two of those. Again, grade, just add one. I can have different standards on here, so I'm going to go for National Curriculum of England, and I'm going to go for, let's just an intermediate question and generate those. So then I've got those two true and false questions being generated for me. Check that they're right. Happy with all the spelling, etc. Fantastic. I'm now going to actually add more questions, but these ones, again, I'm going to go back to my prompt here, and rather than doing true or false ones, I'm going to go for multiple choice and generate those two. So it's going to generate two multiple choice questions. Let's just, again, editing them. Oh, excuse me. Within there. Oh, I've just deleted them all rather than deleted one question. That's a good start, isn't it? So generate multiple choice ones. Oh, well, it's generated itself, so it should be okay. Great, let's check that one. Add in, click on here, and then go back to, let's do short answer. We saw the other ones now. Generate previous, put in my prompt, generate those. I clicked on 5, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but hey ho. But again, you can see it's being put into that edit mode, so you can make them right for your learners. If this isn't the one, here you go, delete question rather than delete them all. Maybe I don't want that one, I can delete that one. Of course, that one I didn't type yet, that's all fine. I can then click next. That was the one I didn't want, so let's delete that one question. There we are. Maybe let's put this one at the beginning as well. I can put parameters either independently or have to do it live in the lesson. Click finish, and now I've got that response, that formative assessment made within there as well. So let's just go through a couple of those. That's the response there. But again, game-based activities, it might be a show, a game show. If you're not sure what any of these activities are, just click on that little play button and it gives you just a bit of a preview. So you can see this is more of like a Wheel of Fortune type style within there itself. I'm going to go for a speed up quiz. I don't often look at that one, which should be great. And again, I'm just going to do exactly the same around London evacuees, and I'm going to do multiple choice questions. And let's just change that grade again. National Curriculum for England. Oop, not business. Rational, national. Hopefully the two are linked. No comments. Put it on there, and I'm going to make this one advanced, actually. 5 questions. Generate. So what I've got now then is that whole text around Goodnight Mr. Tom. I've got the assessments and the games within it as well. I've added in a few extras. And then I've got this kind of game in here as well that we can play. The students can have a go with this either on their devices or at the front as well. And then this one here, just you might have seen those before. These I just speed it up here. Let's click on this one. Zoom, zoom, zoom as it rounds. As it gets to kind of that arrow chicane, if you like, it will just then pop me up the question, and then I get to go and kind of choose which one itself, which one it is, if that's A, and then I can click on that one, and it wasn't right. There we go. But we can see that that one is there, and that's part of it. If these need to be moved around, I could just move them around, and I've generated that content for my learners within it itself here. So a great way to kind of get started within it. And it might be that you're using any other AI generated content itself. It might be that you're making something in Canva, with Copilot or with Gemini, whatever it might be, or creating slides in something. If that is then exported as a PDF or even a worksheet, I can then import that as well, either as a new lesson with the import button, or actually if I go and edit this file here, I can then add in that additional resource as well. And even bringing it in as a PDF, if I'm bringing this one here, it can still be editable, so I can still customize it for my learners. So then amalgamating everything else that can be generated with AI and bring it into Lumio so that we're still using the benefits of AI, saving us time, but then that quality first way of teaching through Lumio is still there. The students are still involved, they're still engaged, they're still personalizing their learning for them. And then that's what Lumio can give you as a delivery tool on top of the AI assist within Lumio or bringing in any additional content to it as well. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of how Lumio uses AI. We've got a few minutes left, so if there are any other questions or anything from that, feel free to pop those into the chat. I'm just going to go through a few other things before we kind of close as well. So firstly, if you do want to know any more about Lumio itself, this page here, again, I'm going to put all these links in the chat. This page is full of great resources for it itself here. This is one, if you go to Lumio and click on the hat at the top here, will take you straight to this. There's some really good training bits and pieces about, as well as just pinging me any questions. That's a really good place to start if you want to know more about Lumio. And there's also the Smart Lumio ambassadors. I have asked the question, how's AI, well, I can't talk this afternoon. How is the AI generation going? Some teachers have already used it. Some comments have already been on there. If you are a Lumio ambassador, go and sign in, have a go, answer your questions, and to kind of join that discussion within it itself. And if you're not, I'm going to put the application form for that as well. It'd be great to have you part of that discussion with other teachers using Lumio, using Smart, and really supporting each other in that sense there as well. So that kind of brings us to a bit of a close. We have got a couple of minutes left. We can't see any other questions. So just to bring it as a bit of a close, we have got only one more session before Christmas. Goodness me. Just because we're not going to do on the very last week of term. So this one here, in the next couple of weeks' time, we're going to look at Smart Notebook 25 as an FYI. That is a free download for all people, for everybody, and there's no license required if you're using it on a smart board. I'm just going to put the download Smart Notebook. If you are using a smart board, if you are connecting your Windows or Mac machine, and if you're wanting to use Smart Notebook, the latest version is there. And I've just kind of put that link in the chat if you want to kind of get that in ahead of time. But that is very much based on that front of class delivery, loads of bells and whistles, but getting students engaging at the board for that as well. So that does bring us pretty much to time here as well. So hopefully that has been useful for you all, and you've kind of got your head around using Lumio and how that AI assist can really support you, and obviously, hopefully, your learners as well. Any other questions about this, about Lumio, or of course about Smart as well, just drop me an email and we'll be back in touch as well, whether it's to do with demoing, whether that's to do with more training, just let me know. But apart from that, have a great couple of weeks, and I'll speak to you all too soon. Take care. Bye-bye.